Alrighty. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. And, hope everybody's doing well. Welcome in on a Monday. We got lots to get into, lots to talk about, news as we are getting on. Y'all know what time it is. We are back on the Brew Crew today. And boy, oh boy, there is a lot. I know I tend to say that a lot, but let me tell you, there is quite a bit as we jump on here on a Monday. So with that, pack a lip, kick back, relax, and we're going to be here with you for the next couple hours. So today, we're going to be finishing up planting beans. We've got some grass to take care of. We've got some fertilization to take care of. We're probably going to be spending the $7,500 that we have left to go ahead and fill up our production. Got to go ahead and get that time turned up. As it is 10 o'clock in the morning and it is 7:41 here in the Motor City. As I said, lots to get into. We are going to start out with how this week is going to work. We got to talk about JMO. We got to talk about YouTube. We got to talk about the pod. I've got some more stuff presented by Lindy's for you. All sorts of goodies here on a Monday. So with that said, we are going to jump right in with very, very simply, we are going to start with, of course, let's go ahead and start with this, and it is on the show sheet as settling in with YouTube. So when I first started this, I was very nervous, obviously, but I was very nervous based on a couple of things. I was very nervous about how long it would take me to settle in before I really got to where I was with social media. And I gotta be honest with you guys because, well, we like being transparent and honest here on the YouTube channel. I'm settling in a lot smoother than I thought. And here's what I mean by that. What I mean by that is that I figured it would be really, really hard for me to settle in. And it hasn't. It has worked out very, very well. And I'm very, very happy about that. So, yeah, we're settling in, guys. We're settling in. I mean, there is still some odds and ends that I need to go ahead and get figured out as far as Streamlabs goes, as far as a mic, because, well, I'm not too savvy on that. But a lot of the other stuff we're going to talk about today, I'm definitely savvy on that. Hey, by the way, our money went up. We must have sold some product. Oh, let's go. But the point is that very, very simply, I am starting to settle in. I'm starting to really get in the groove of things. And I will tell you, this is going to be a big week. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into how this week is going to play out. So for me this week, it is going to be interesting. The reason why I say that is because of the fact we have, we're starting off the week with you guys. But honestly, I think personally, we're gonna be here for most, if not all, week. So I'm very excited about that. And here's why. Here's why I'm excited about it, because this kind of goes back to me as a person and me being nervous and, all that kind of stuff. First and foremost, you guys are incredible. We have just hit 24 subscribers. 24. I stare at that every single morning, and a lot of the times I'm just like, I'm mind blown. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you so very much to you guys. It means a lot. And I know, it's a low number and, whatever. Don't care. Any time that you guys prove my point of being the real MVPs that you guys are, I am going to say thank you, and I'm going to show appreciation to you guys. Very, very simply, I pride myself on, I think that's what makes my channel very, very different, is that you guys are a big part of this, if not bigger than myself and TJ. You guys continue to amaze me. It is the best way that I can put it. So we start off with having a bigger audience. But on top of that, I've really been thinking about the last this last really weekend of August, and then on top of that, September, because we do have the podcast. We're going to hop into that here in just a moment. But the biggest thing being is that it means it's time to start putting a little bit of pressure on me. And I am the type of person, I'm going to hold myself accountable, period. So we will talk about why I was not on during the weekend, and we will go from there. But I am the type of person, I'm going to hold myself accountable and to a standard, period. And that's really where it's going to begin and end for me. But with that, we get into the podcast. With the podcast, we are going to be releasing our first episode tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. Now the thing is that we've decided to go a different way with that, and here's what I mean. We decided to go a different way because of a couple of different things. First and foremost, we thought we would be able to do it right on this channel, but that's not going to be the case. So, we are going to be creating a new channel for the podcast. So we are going to have Farming and BS, which is going to be, which is going to be farm sim all the time. We're going to talk about some sports. We're going to do things all sorts of different ways over here. But on the other channel, it is going to be dedicated to the podcast. TJ and I are going to be busting our off to go ahead and get this to you guys. Because not only have we decided to start on a stream schedule, but we are also going to start doing a podcast schedule as well. Now, live streams are not going to be very, very frequent over there. A lot of the times it is going to be quick recorded videos or shorts, and every now and then we will get into a podcast, or not a podcast, a live stream. Excuse me, I'm all over the place. But we are going to absolutely be going ham over there as we are 2 weeks away from opening night. And obviously, when we are on here, we are going to talk about the podcast. There's a lot of things that we are going to start implementing into that as well. And I am very, very excited for that. Oh. I don't know. Are we going to be able to finish it off? We might have to go up to the truck and get some seed as well. And yes, I know, case on John Deere. Not really ideal, but when you're utilizing the used market, it is well worth it. But yeah, there's a lot we are going to be implementing regarding the pod. Excuse me. But I'm very, very excited for it. I'm all sorts of emotions for it. But the best thing I can say is you just got to keep going. You just got to keep going. And as long as you start, that's what matters. Taking the first step is what truly, truly matters. And that's really where it begins and ends. Is that you can figure out the rest from there. Excuse me. But you have to take the first step. And as long as you take that first step, you're good. That's all that matters. Oh yeah, we should be able to finish this off. Alright. So let's get into the why I was not on during the weekend. So not only was it work, and did I have something going on personally, but I was trying to get the podcast up for you guys as well. And, well, I honestly thought I broke something. Because I'm going through and I'm putting in everything, trying to get everything ready to go. And sure enough, it goes into this like playlist mode, and I'm like, oh no, what did I do? Oh no. And yeah, I kind of freaked out at that moment. It was not good. So yeah, that's the biggest reason why. Plus, as you guys know, I do have to take care of my dog as well as a couple other personal things with that. So it's not fun, but somebody has to do it. So with that said, let's talk about the playthrough a little bit. So we ended up making some money from the corn. Now, of course, we spent a good chunk of it because we want to get this to a stable condition. And what I mean by that is that on, well, not just this playthrough, but many of our playthroughs, I look at them as somewhat of a business. And what I mean by that is that there are certain things that have to be done first in order to get it to where we want it. And with this in particular, a lot of our cost went into the big bags, as well as some equipment that some we didn't really need, but it's nice to have. But except for probably 2 or 3 pieces, yeah, we definitely needed them, specifically for fertilization, spraying, and then of course rolling our field, which we will be getting into here soon. And then of course, a new way of making a little bit of side cash. Now, it's not perfect by any means, but until we can get to the animal portion and our production is fully full, we gotta keep working away until we are at a stable condition. Alright, soybeans are done. Now, why do we need soybean? Well, that is what the production takes. Along with a couple of other things. So, what we need is I know we have a pressure washer, but we need to also I think we're going to need to take care of the fuel first. We do have a loading wagon for all of our grass that we need to take and get rid of. We're going to sell for a little bit of money. But we also have a water tank because that's going to need to go up there. Which I do believe we're going to run a couple things of water up to our production. So let's get that. And let's go ahead with flashers on. And we are going to run up to the fuel station, get a little fuel in the tractor, and we will go ahead and take care of a few things. because I think the next purchase is going to be another tractor. At least that's my hope. Because we only have one tractor right now. The other thing is that I've also put a little bit of a challenge on this tractor. Why? Well, I want to see how many hours we can get on this case before we get ourselves another tractor. And eventually, I'd like to buy this big field right here next to our production, especially because over the hill there is right where the homestead is. Let's also take a look and see. We're probably not going to have enough, but let's just see for the moment how much this is going to be. 2,000 or 2,400, excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait on that. Maybe after we sell the grass, we can go ahead and do that. We also may have a new job, which is where that building comes into play. We'll talk about it, because not only is it just going to be that building that's there, but there's also going to be something else there, which I'm kind of excited about, because it does mean that eventually, after we play another season on here, not as bad as I thought, okay, but after we play another season, the Brew Crew is gonna go multiplayer, which I'm excited for, because not only is the store going to be there, but on top of that, it is also the fact of that there is going to be a co-op there as well. So no longer will we have to utilize the big bags. We can actually go ahead and just run right up to the co-op, which is going to be super, super nice. Now, I know I probably should not do this, but we're going to do it anyway. as I said, eventually I would like to purchase this field here. And the reason for that is because literally right over that hill is the house. Well, even though we don't have a house right now, but where we are. Eventually, we're going to expand. Oh yeah, we're going to get into having a $1 million farm. But right now we're in the struggle to stay afloat. So with that said, I can turn these off right now. Let's go ahead and let's get a trailer down to the brewery, and let's go ahead and get that done, and then we can see where we're gonna be at after the okay, back up to that. Looky there, it's already full. Nice. Huh? No big deal. We'll run it down there, and well, we are gonna possibly go ahead and make 2 trips. We'll get these back on, and we'll get down there, and then we will start getting into some topics at hand. So let's get this down to the brewery. We'll get this filled, and then we'll see where we're at money-wise. I think we'll get the forage wagon filled first, and then we'll do a little bit of rolling get the field rolled, and then I think we will go ahead and get to some spraying, some liming, all that kind of stuff. And then also, speaking of which, not every series, but I will tell you there are certain series we're gonna do stream only. So videos, I'll be really honest with you guys. It's gonna be sparse on videos, to be quite honest. Preferably, I like the streams. But yeah, I mean, the Brew Crew it is going to be one. As far as this week goes, almost missed that. I do apologize. But with this week, it's going to be a fun one. Wednesday, I teased this. Let me go ahead and look real quick. This would have been, I believe, 2 days ago. I believe. But I teased the Humboldt, Tennessee map. So, with that said, Wednesday, we're going to end up streaming there. We may even do it tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, Wednesday, as of right now, Wednesday is going to be Humboldt, Tennessee. That is a brand new map by Delta South I can't even talk. Modding and mapping. So that is going to be a fun one. Super excited because this group is dedicated to southern maps. There's a Florida map that is in the works that I know of. We're absolutely going to be on that. I know DR has teased a little bit of a drop on Friday or Saturday. I believe the date was the 26th, which would be on Saturday. So, even though it will be college football going on, we will be on and we will be streaming on that map. If you guys don't know, DR Modding is the original creator of the UMRV map in 17. And he's got a lot. Now, again, these are Patreon exclusives. Now, as far as I know, DR is going to make his two maps that he is working on public. I do not know when they will be public. But as far as I know, guys, if you're looking for super detailed maps and really, really good ones, guys, go check out DR Modding. Then, in between there, we're going to have another new map. So we are going to be dropping all sorts of content this week regarding FS22. So lots and lots to get into. I know sometime this week, I know TJ and I talked about the idea of maybe a midweek surprise of hopping back over to hopping back over to FS19 for some fun. We absolutely want to get back to 19. I don't know what map we'll be on, but I know we do want to get back, play some on there, and really just get at it. But yeah, there is going to be a whole lot of new content that is going to be on the way. Guys, there's going to be no shortage of content. And not only that, but college football's back this week. Super excited about that. Okay, so 2 trailer loads, that's about 12,000 liters of water over here, so that should be good. We don't really need that trailer until harvest time, so I reckon let's go ahead, let's get back over to the farm, then we'll go from there. But yeah, there's a ton of content that is on the way. Again, it's really tough with me and TJ because TJ works different hours than I do. Obviously, TJ has kids, so there's a lot going on. However, if you guys know the map from DR that I'm talking about, Squad did a video on it. And he claims it's the best map in 22. Now, in my personal opinion, I haven't played it yet. So I can't come out here and say it is the best map in 22 because as of right now, our favorite map for now has been UMRV. Which I will tell you, we do plan to go back to DR's version when we hop on over to FS17. So a lot of good stuff is on the way, guys. With that, it's time to work. It's time to get into some topics. And there's a lot. So obviously we go back to Thursday last week, and we get into the JMO stuff. And what I want to know is very simply, what label would you put on Jamison Williams? And I'm not going to argue if you want to say the bust. If you want to say bust, not going to argue with you on it. If you want to say unreliable, if you want to say hope, it is entirely your call. Oh, trust me, we're going to get to the Michigan stuff. Please, I'm all over it. But I think it's, for me, if I had to pick one, it would have to be hope. Why? Very simply because the guy cannot be in the facility until week 4 post preseason. On top of that, The guy can't practice until week 6. And I don't think come week 7, I don't think he's going to just come out of mothballs and become the best player on the field. I just don't. You may not get something out of JMO until Halloween, maybe, if we're lucky. And I know they brought in Jason Moore from the Chargers. But I'll be quite honest with you. With cut candidates coming up, Lions better grab a wide receiver. Because, man, oh man, if I'm looking at this team right now, who's your wide receiver 2? Who's your wide receiver 3? My only answer that I can come up with is going back to the fact of that we need, as fans, to remember Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell don't think like us, and we don't think like them. But let me tell you something. On top of that, they have a different way of thinking. And going into the season right now, if I'm excluding preseason and also not knowing if Chase Cota, or the other rookie wide receivers make this team, Dylan Drummond, I don't really know who is going to be wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. But I'll tell you right here, right now, my biggest worry or biggest concern for this team is wide receiver. All right. Let's get a quick break. Save that. And let's go ahead and let's get to I'm on it. There we go. Selling this off. Oh boy. This ought to be fun. There we go. All right. But I'll be honest with you. No, I don't think the Lions can wait on J-Mo. I don't. You know, this team has expectations. We have expectations for this team. And as a fan and as somebody who talks about this team, somebody who you know, creates content on this team and is a fan of this team, yeah, I'm not waiting on J-Mo. Anything that he does from week 7 on is just going to be a bonus, in my opinion. And as far as it goes, the only way that I see as Brad Holmes can make it right, and I hate even making this term, but softening the blow would be to bring in a wide receiver. And as far as the fight with, you know, oh, well, you should have drafted Jordan Davis. Guys, if you followed me on social media, guys, I was telling you. I thought when they traded up, I thought for sure they were grabbing Jordan Davis. And you know what? I mean, again, it's a part of the job that I had, you know, I had to defend the pick. But guys, I'm not fighting you on it. If you thought they were taking Jordan Davis, it's very, very simple. And I'll be honest with you, it is going to be, I think as I said last week, you know, I think with J-Mo being the number one headline of this team, I do think now with him not being back until week 7, yeah, he's going down to 3, and you know Dan Campbell and Jared Goff are gonna move back up. But what's going to be interesting is he going to be here for year 3? And I don't know the answer on that. I really don't. But I don't think I don't think this team can wait. I don't. My biggest thing is that if I'm in the room, whether I'm Dan, whether I am Brad Holmes, whether I am Sheila, whether I am Chris Spielman, very, very simply, I'm making him the last wide receiver on my depth chart. Now, why do I say that? Guys, he has to earn his way back. Period. So, that's where I'm at with it. And, you know, it's funny, I know how this is going to go when we're going to get into the Michigan thing, but I talked about this, man, this would have been, last stream, perhaps? I want to say it was. I talked about the people making up certain things and people coming at people like myself saying, oh, well, it's on the media. The media is making stuff up, trying to run him out of town. So, hear me out on these couple things, because these were a couple of things that I listened to over the weekend. Ready? Here we go. Quote, his look on draft day, close quote. Quote, he's quit on the team, close quote. Quote, the liking of Lamar Jackson's tweet was more that he wants to be with Lamar Jackson, close quote. Another one of, quote, he doesn't want to be here. I know it, close quote. As I said in the last stream, guys, we have no evidence of that. You know, and as far as the draft day thing, guys, it's very, very simple. We are all different. We all react to things differently. We all look at things as far as being drafted into the NFL a lot differently because of the fact that there are some people who know it's a big moment and know that it's emotional. The people around them are emotional. So I don't know really how much merit that has, is the problem. Like, we all deal with things very, very differently into the fact of that. We all have big moments in our lives to where we react differently. And so, I don't know, man. I just, to me, I can't say it has merit when we all are human. We're not machines. We all deal with things differently. You know, but the biggest thing is that I also don't know how much the social media stuff has to deal with it. Because here's the thing. I pride myself on calling a spade a spade. Period. No, I don't think J-Mo should have posted or liked certain things on social media. Now, it hurts him, it hurts the team, it hurts the city. But the thing is that I don't know that liking one tweet about Lamar Jackson would mean that he wants to be a Raven. I think it's goofy, and as I said, the people who want to bring, you know, all these different things up and say he's quit on the team or he wants to be a Raven or you know this, that, and the other. Let's just be careful on that. I don't know that, like I said, I don't know that the draft day look has any merit based on the fact of that we are human beings. Everybody deals with big moments differently. And as far as liking a tweet, I don't know that he wants to be a Raven all of a sudden because of liking a tweet. So what label, what would you put on Jameson Williams? On top of that, I thought it was interesting because I heard this Dan Campbell comment, and I kind of raised an eyebrow at it. He talked about the wide receiver spot is wide open. He said that there was two position groups that were open. One being wide receiver. So A, what is the other? And B, he said there's two spots open on wide receiver. I thought that was kind of interesting, specifically because of going back to my original question. Of, okay, we're at, who is wide receiver 2? Who is wide receiver 3? I think 3 would be Marvin, but I don't know who 2 would be. Oh, here's the best part. I forgot about this. This was funny. So I was overhearing a caller on Friday. Take a listen to this. And a lot of the times when I hear stuff like this, I laugh. But it's not the quote that made me laugh. What made me laugh was the response. Quote, fans are too easy on Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. Close quote. Then the guy got into Quintez Cephas. You want to know what the problem with Quintez Cephas is? Guys, he got suspended and cut from the team because of the fact of he was involved in the gambling deal. And then the best part is that people who wanted DeAndre Hopkins got all over the phones and text. And oh, trust me, I had to hear it too. About how, well, we should have got DeAndre Hopkins. And yet, you know what the problem with that line of thinking is? The first time that he bashed this team, you, the fan, would be screaming your head off like a child throwing a fit to get this guy out of town. And not only that, but he's going to demand to be the number one. And it's like, so wait, let me get this straight. We either wanted a guy who's a cancer or a guy who had trouble staying healthy, on top of the fact of also got caught gambling and got cut from the team. Huh. Then on top of that, the best answer from the host was, well, what about Kenny Golladay? Oh, you mean the guy who mailed it in? Who got paid from the Giants? And then just mailed it in? That guy? Great. Hey, I know. What about DJ Chark? What am I stuck on here? Okay then. The problem with DJ Chark is DJ Chark had problems staying healthy as well. Injuries happen, but it's also the fact of like, the first time that Hopkins, basically says something to the effect of that, Goff sucks. It's like the very same people who wanted him are going to be calling in, screaming like a child throwing a fit to get this guy out of town after he goes at the team. And with the expectation, I don't need that in my locker room. Period. By the way, did anybody see the Cardinals and Mets game where that guy took a 96-mile-an-hour ball to the chandelier as he was breakdancing on the floor? The announcers were just like, It was great. I don't know if anybody saw that. I don't like laughing at someone's pain. But my goodness, was that relatable. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Now we get to the fun. Hey, you know, it's funny. Remember when I said the more obnoxious thing than the fan base is the people who hate this team? You know what the best part about it is? These are the same people who claim to be Lions free. The best part is that truly I never even believed those people. Because the best part is that it was on full display after the game on Saturday. After preseason game number 2, it was fantastic. Because all the people who last week went at you, the fan base, were out in full force for Saturday evening heading in to Sunday morning. It was on full display. So here's what I'm feeling. Not only is it the fact that some people are rooting for this team to fail, but it's also the fact of that each week for 18 weeks are we going to have battles. Because in my opinion, battle lines have been drawn. Battle lines have been drawn, and very, very simply, it is the idea of not only is it the fact of that there is a very large portion of this fan of people who want this team to fail, but boy oh boy, lose a preseason game and they are going to be out in full force. And I can tell you, I can see it from a mile away regarding week 1. Let's just go ahead and say the Lions lose, whether it's by a point, 3 points, or 17 points. Those people are going to be all over in full force to tell you those three little letters. There are people who are just, they are holding on to every last breath. And they are doing nothing more than they are waiting for this team to lose a game, and they are going to be out in full force, and they are going to be ready to tell you on Friday, this team sucks. I told you. And then they're going to make it personal, and they're going to go with the fan base, which I think is a cowardly move. And it's like, we're really doing this, huh? For 18 weeks. It's going to be a battle. And I hope you're ready for it. Because to me, battle lines are drawn. Either you believe in this team and you have common sense, or you are holding on with bated breath that you cannot wait for this team to lose a step, lose a game, and then you are going to go at everybody. And I'd love to hear from those people, because I'd love to know what you gain from it. You know what you gain from it? Nothing. Because you look like a clown. You know how I know that? Because I used to be that guy. I used to be that guy to where I was obnoxious with my fandom. And then my team fell off and I started lashing out. And you know what? It was ridiculous. And I had to grow up. Look, I'm not going to change people's mind. But I'll tell you right here, right now, going into this season, I'm going to do my very best, whether it's here or on the podcast. I'm going to try and bring common sense. And not only that, but here's one note as well. I never get to use my fandom. My fandom is when I am off camera. When I'm on camera, I do not get to use my fandom at all. And I won't. Because I'd rather use common sense than to come on here, lie to my listeners, and not tell you how the hell I feel. Period. But as far as it goes, look, battle lines have been drawn. I think there is a silent majority out there who claims to be Lions free. We all know they're lying. But very, very simply, it is straight up they are going to wait for this team to lose a step, lose a game, and then that's it. And then they are going to go on the attack. They're going to lash out. And they're going to go with the fan base. They're going to go with this person. They're going to go with that person. They're going to blame the media. They're going to blame this. They're going to blame that. And you know what? You're just going to look like a clown. You are so mad because you are hanging on to hurt from years ago, that you would rather hang on to that hurt and then lash out at people who actually want to look at this team in a different light. And as far as it goes, if you don't want to look at this team in a different light and say that they've done nothing, they haven't done a thing, this, that, the other, then you can look at it that way. I'm not going to change your mind. But the only thing I will say is that, to me, you've got blinders on. Because you know what? Foundational pieces are here. All right. Make a little bit more cash. The one takeaway, well, there were two takeaways that I had from Saturday's game. There is more defensive depth than offensive depth. And not only that, but who is CB2? And then, by the way, we're also going to be implementing this, because not only is this going to be for the pod, but it is going to be over here, because eventually some of the things that we are going to be doing on the pod, we absolutely want to do on here as well. Do me a favor, if you are going to call in, if you're calling in right off the golf course, we're not taking your call. I don't know how many of the bubblies, the adult beverages that you've had, but here's the best part. I listened not only when I was working, but when I was listening to other stations, and I was overhearing different shows, not only on my station, but stations I listen to. This by far was the quote of the weekend, and I was going into the week thinking it could not be outdone. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Here's the point. Quote, with the hype machine out of control, he put the team in reverse. Close quote. There were multiple callers with okay. Are you serious? Oh no. Are you serious? Oh my god. Well, hang on a minute, y'all. Are we back? Maybe? Okay then. We'll be right back. Hold on, guys. Really? All right. Please tell me we're back. What in the heck did I do? Okay. I think we're back. Pretty sure anyway. I hit a button. I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. I'm taking out signs. Really? I just crashed into a fence. I have no idea what the I did. I have no idea. I hope we're back. Okay. So, as I was saying, oh my god, it never fails. I have no idea what I did, guys. I have no idea. I hit the freaking button. No, we're not ending soon. Oh my god. I'm terrible. I apologize. God. Come on. Alright. I think we're back. I hope we're back. and we'll go from there. But yeah, talking about these calls. I would love to know, first of all, how you come to that conclusion when necessarily one, Dan Campbell has already talked about the fact of the hype train being out of control. Then on top of that, why would it matter in a preseason game? And he put the team in reverse. What does that even mean? Like, I would love to know what in HELL hell does that even mean? What does it even mean that he put the team in reverse? Not only that, but secondly, how do you put a team in reverse? Oh wait, I know how. Hire Matt Patricia. And boy wonder, Bob Quinn. I mean, my goodness. Alright, so now that we've made some money, let's go ahead and let's detach from this. Let's grab the roller and turn those off. Do a little break and save. And there we go. All right. Oh yeah, I gotta go and pick up that fertilizer bag as well. Oops. So get this rolled on up here. Truck is absolutely filthy. There we go. Alright. That's gonna be way over here. So we're gonna pick that up. And then probably not the best to be driving on a freshly planted field, but guess you gotta do what you gotta do. And just throw this in the back of the truck. Or not. Wow. So it must have been when I was hitting the keyboard. I must have hit the button, and wow. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I apologize, guys. I apologize. And then people wonder why I get nervous. Ish happens. Christ. I still cannot believe I did that. God. But anyway, here, let me land the plane on this. As far as these calls go, it's why we're going to implement this. Guys, look, if you are going to call, like literally as you're getting off the golf course, we're not taking the call. Now on radio, it's a different story. Here, oh, no, no, no. On here, or on the podcast, straight up, we will not be taking your call if you're just getting off the golf course. Let me say this quote again, real quick. He put the team in reverse. Sheesh. Okay. So Will Brinson did a piece on NFL win totals for NFC South and NFC North. And first up is the Lions, and him and I are in lockstep. And here's why. Because he writes about the fact of, say what you want about using first round picks on a running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, and a linebacker, Jack Campbell. We're going to talk about Jack Campbell, don't you worry. In terms of analytical value, but both guys are going to be impact players for Detroit in 2023. So will cornerback Brian Branch, who's been flying around during preseason, and might allow Detroit to shift C.J. Gardner-Johnson to safety, where he really thrived for Philadelphia's defense last year. But this is where him and I are in lockstep. Regardless of what happens week one. Okay. Quote, how the Lions bounced back at home against Atlanta and Seattle, regardless of what happens in Kansas City, might determine how the number goes. I truly believe that's going to be the case. I'm taking the over 9.5 wins. I'm saying 10, possibly 10.5. Seattle is week 2 at home. That is one of the biggest games we're going to talk about. Why? I think it's your most important game of the season. You make right of your wrongs last year. And then that very next week, you're back home versus Atlanta. And look, and I'm not going to, well, unfortunately, I have to say this. Because of the fact of the way that, well, a lot of models are trending, a lot of people believe Bijan could be in the conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Same thing with Jahmyr Gibbs. It's going to be a battle either way to see. And so week 3, definitely looking forward to that matchup. So as far as win total goes, I just want to know where you guys are at. I want to know where you guys are at regarding the win total. It's set at 9.5. I'm taking the over. And then on top of that, what is the one game you are most excited for this season? For me, very, very simply, it is week 2 versus Seattle at home. Because I'll be the first, well, I'll just go ahead and tell you. You make right of last year. And I know this probably shouldn't be a headline, but this is where I have to do my job, not just as me, but on top of that, being a part of the quote-unquote media. You know what's funny about this, and I don't know if it'll be a headline heading into the game, but remember all the rumors that we were hearing about the Lions wanting Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois? Well, guess who took him? Seattle. On top of that, guess who kept you out of the playoffs last year? Seattle. Like, straight up. So it's one of those things that it is going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of headlines heading into that game, and I honestly think those are going to be 2 of them. And then on top of that, the other thing is that, let's pause real quick so we can get a save in. But yeah, for me, it's really a toss-up between week 2, and I think the biggest headline for that game is, can the Lions right the wrongs of last season, taking on Seattle? It was a wild game. You score 45 points, you should win that game. Then on top of that, For me, the other one is Week 16 against Minnesota on Christmas Eve. I told you straight up, I think that's going to be a de facto playoff game. I think the Lions are going to have that game wrapped up and ready to roll. Not the game. They're going to have the division ready to go in their hands when they travel to Minnesota that week. And I think that is going to be a de facto playoff game on the road. And look, I don't fault the people who say that it's going to be Minnesota and Detroit battling it out for the division. I don't fault those people because clearly that's how the NFL sees it. So what do you got? What is that one game? If you guys have two, of course, let me know. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But as I said, I think there are games to be excited about. But I will be completely honest with you. This is going to be a very, very interesting season regarding of what we just talked about a little bit ago. I think there is people that just are straight up wanting this team to just fall down a flight of stairs and, straight up, just that's it, And I think it's going to be a battle through 18 weeks. And if this team makes it into the playoffs, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be even more. And I think honestly, if this team makes it into the postseason, I think those battle lines are going to be times 10. As we get into that home playoff game. All right, so let's switch gears for a moment. Take a little break from the football and let's talk some Tigers. Because I will be we like to be honest around here. And very, very simply, it's very nice to see Torque start to come alive here. But here's my question. I have two. A, can he get to 30 by the end of the season? B, I heard a wild take from one of my favorite texters. And I gotta know where Tiger fans are at. But here's the question, and then I'm going to give you the quote. if you are deciding on Torkelson now, who wins? What do you gain from it by making a decision on Spencer Torkelson? So here's the best part. Because a lot of times when you hear about trades or you hear about somebody's fifth-year option or when you hear certain things to that extent, things get a little wild in Detroit. And I'm sure they do other places, but it's amplified by 3 in Detroit. And here's the best part. Now, I don't think this gentleman speaks for Tiger fan, but I can't help but think this guy is on that ooh-wee, if you know what I mean. Here is the quote. I overheard this, and it is the funniest thing I have ever heard. And if you're out there, Texter, I just want to let you know that I love you and thank you for this wonderful moment that I get to share with my listeners. You truly are a gem. Here we go. Quote, he's nothing more than a 270 average hitter. He's close to Nick Castellanos. And when his contract is up, just like Casty, you let him walk. He's doing better against the bad teams because he can't hit fast pitching. Close quote. When I heard this, I about fell out of my chair. Because here's the funny thing about it. Have you watched Castellanos in Philadelphia? Now, don't get me wrong, he's not perfect. He has his flaws. But here's the best part. You know what the best part is? He literally swings for the fences. He has home runs. In fact, let me go ahead and let me pull this up because, my goodness, is it something? For 2023, Castellanos is a 1.6 WAR player, 470 at bats, 135 hits, 21 homers, and a batting average of 277. Here's the best part. Let's go to career. Career as a WAR player, 14.1. At bat, 5120. 5,121 hits. Or at bats, excuse me. for his at-bats. 14-16. 202 homers and a batting average of 277. Do we remember how great it was when we were told there was no trade market for Castellanos? Remember how great that was? Remember how great it was when our GM came out and slandered the guy? And we let him walk for, nothing? So, I don't know if Torkelson has hit one tonight. I'm kind of, talking to you guys, so I can't watch the game. Let's get a score update while we're at it. 7-6 final. Cubs win. Oh no. But yeah, I can't check that while I'm on here. If anyone wants to update me, that would be great. The whole point being is that how do you win if you are making a decision on Torkelson right here, right now? And I think the best part is, and this is yet again where I have to call out the BS, he's on a little bit of a hitting streak, or a little bit of a hot streak, and this is what we're calling in with? He's just another Castellanos. But here's the thing. You know what the best part about it is? And here's where I say a lot of the times in Detroit, it is emphasized times 3. Because there is a small portion who just thinks that they're better. And think that they deserve better. And it's like, so wait, let me get this straight. If this kid turns out to be a Castellanos clone, per se, you mean to tell me that's it, get him out of here? Quote, you let him walk, close quote, after drafting the guy number 1. The guy gets on a hot streak, and this is what we're talking about. Come on now. I mean, my goodness. Yet this is the same guy who texted in June saying, well, Torque's a bust. Just let it go, guys. Honestly, how do you win making a decision on Torkelson right here, right now? And I'll tell you this. As the season winds down, you see that performance yesterday from Eduardo Rodriguez? I gotta tell you, as the season winds down, and with every passing hour, I gotta tell you, I'm starting to get a little bit worried. I came on here and I told you guys, you know what? I think the guy wants to be here. He has the option to opt in right now and sign a new contract. On top of that, I expanded a little bit by telling you, after the no-no from Michael Lorenzen, if Michael Lorenzen continues to pitch out of his mind, the Phillies win the World Series, and Erod walks at the end of the season, I'll be the first guy on here to tell you Scott Harris is not doing his job. But I got to tell you, that was a vintage Erod performance yesterday. Vintage Erod performance. And as the clock ticks down, and as the season winds down, and I'm not hearing anything, I can come on here and tell you sometimes no news is good news. But after yesterday, I can't look at that and come on here and confidently say that he's going to be here. And look, if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. I'll be willing to admit that. Whole hell of a lot different than some people. But listen, it's going to be a doozy. Let me tell you. I will absolutely eviscerate Scott Harris if that's what it comes down to. Because if Erod walks, I think Tiger fans are going to be pissed. And you have every single right to be. All right. We still got so much of this field to freaking roll. I had to get the smallest friggin' roller out there. It's ridiculous. Whatever. I get more time with you guys. That's what matters. That's what matters. Alrighty. Whoa. Oopsies. I drove way past that. Ha! I am just a mess tonight. Could you imagine if we had to drive this backwards? Oh my God. Unbelievable. Alright. By the way, Parker Meadows called up. I have no idea if he played tonight. I'm not going to look while I'm on stream. Possibly something there. A little bit. Um, let's hop back into the Lions. Remember when I said that there is going to be a battle all season? Oh, trust me, this is going to be a battle all season. So I heard a wild take, not just on Spencer Torkelson, but on the Lions. And sometimes these takes surprise the living hell out of me regarding our teams. And it never surprises me, or it always surprises me, because I would love to know how you come to this conclusion off a preseason game. And mind you, the preseason is wild. We saw Mahomes play, which out of any player in the NFL, you would think he does not need the preseason out of any other player. So, this was one that really surprised me. And it surprised me in a way of it surprised me in a way that I really had no idea what to say to it. So here is the quote. And I think people are reaching here just a little bit. And I'll explain why. Quote, with the depth on the O-line being as little as it is, if you lose, or if you have to put in more than one of these second string or third string guys, you're effed. It would be an SOL season. Close quote. When I heard this, not only did I about fall out of my chair, on top of that, I had no idea what to do. I couldn't even speak. Which, it takes a lot for me to not be able to speak. But then I laughed for a moment. And this is where things come full circle regarding the battle lines. The best part about this is that, ironically, a lot of these second and third string guys are not going to be out there, if at all. Your O-line is going to have to stay healthy. Now, there are some question marks. I am not going to debate that. Ragnow with the toe is a prime example. However, if your O-line stays healthy, that doesn't guarantee a winning season. But I'll tell you straight up, you're going to win games because of your O-line. Your O-line is the strength of this team. It's why I believe David Montgomery is going to be better. It's why I believe Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a stud muffin. It's why I believe Jared Goff is going to play for a contract. But here's my point. I think people want to reach for the SOL letters so hard because all they know is hurt with this team. But the funny part about it is that you have to look at this from a different angle. I'm a big believer in, not only in sports, but in life, we deal with, with certain things not only differently, but we have to look at things from a different angle. Meaning we have to mature, we have to grow up. And some of us do it earlier than others, some of us mature a little bit later. That's how life goes, and that's okay. However, with this, the part of, quote, it would be an SOL season, close quote. And this question popped into my head, and I want you guys to define it. What would be an SOL season? To me, 2-15. You win 2 games. You're at the top of the draft in 24. That would be an SOL season. Now, on top of that, you would have to have key injuries. You know what I mean by that? It's very, very simple. Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, in fact, anybody on the offensive line. Your quarterback, Amon-Ra. Very, very simply, that would be an SOL season. I am not going to come on here if the goal is not met and say that it would be an SOL season. If you go 2-15, guys, then not only is there going to have to be major changes within the organization, but it's also the fact that there would have to be major, or not just organizational changes, but roster changes. Guys, I don't think that's going to happen. And as far as it goes, if you believe that's how the season is going to go, tell me why. I think people want to reach so hard and hold on to that SOL because it's all they know. I think that's why we are going to battle it out for 18 weeks straight, including the playoffs. And it's going to be a battle. And I do think you need to prepare for that. I think you need to prepare for the battle it's going to be. Because I can tell you, I can already see it from a mile away. I can already hear the phone calls if it's 1 point, 3 point, or 17 points. People are going to call in and eviscerate this team because they went up with the best. Week 1 is going to tell you, it's going to show you either how close you are or how far away this team truly is. That's what I see for week 1. Now, if you lose by 1 point, man, is that going to be encouraging. But I'll tell you this, I want this team to go into week 1 with their hair on fire. I want this team to come out and play with a tenacity. I want Hutchinson coming off the edge. I want Jack Campbell in the middle of that defense, stuffing Isaiah Pacheco or a certain other running back. We'll get to that. The point is I want this team to play with a tenacity. I want that O-line to start shoving around Kansas City's D-line. It's a tall task. It's David versus Goliath. Period. But it's going to go one way or the other. And I think if this team, if it's 1-3 or 17, as I have said now 3 times, I can already hear it. People are going to lash out. People are going to go at the fans, which, you know what, I don't apologize for it. It's cowardly. If you go at the fan base because you claim to be Lions free, you're a coward. Period. You claim to be Lions free, yet you still watch this team. You hate watch this team. So don't tell me you're Lions free because you're a liar. Very, very simply, this team week 1 has to come out and they have to play. They have to play like it's their last game on the field. Lay it all out on the field, and you know what? Keep it close and see what the hell happens. But I think it's going to be a battle for 18 weeks straight, plus the playoffs. So define it. What's the other side of the coin? What is an SOL season? And very simply, I'll say it again. You win, I say nice things. You lose, I say mean things. Period. I care about my damn listeners. And you know what? My damn listeners are the ones who make this damn page. Period. So let's get it. But look, I think very, very simply, I think it's going to be, to me, this is the most emotional week 1 that I remember out of my 27 years on this earth. I don't know if 57 rivals it. If any of my older listeners are out there and want to argue it, I'm here for it. But very, very simply, I'm not coming on here week 1 and literally saying, oh, well, SOL. I'm not doing it. Now, you go 2-15, which would be an SOL season. I don't think the fan base is ready for that conversation. I really don't. Because you are talking about organizational changes. You are talking about the fact of you're talking about roster changes, coaching changes. You're talking about all of it. But like that's all there is to it. And to me, there would have to be a major injury. And I hope that doesn't happen. But it would have multiple of your stars would have to be out in order for this to be an SOL season. I just don't see that happening. I don't see it happening because of the fact of where this team is, how far this team has came, and what possibly could be on the horizon for this team. And if we're going to talk about this team, let me be very, very clear. We're going to talk both sides of the coin. Period. Okay, so I did mention this earlier, but after not this season, but next season, we have to play one more season on here, and then Iowa Plains is going to go multiplayer. TJ is going to join us, and then a good friend of ours who actually runs a co-op in real life is going to join us as well, and that is when we will update everything on here, and that's really when we will start updating equipment, we'll start updating all sorts of things. But tomorrow as well, I am going to create a post after this stream is up and posted. TJ has informed me we have created the new channel. We have created the new channel for the podcast. So, tomorrow we will be posting over there. I'm going to share the channel. Make sure you guys go follow it, go subscribe. We are going to be posting weekly content over there. On top of that, we will be back here as well for a lot this week. We are going to be back here on the channel this week, and we're going to be doing a lot of streaming. We're going to be talking a lot about Lions, Michigan, all sorts of good stuff. So, as I said before, we are going to go ahead and I'm going to make a community post on here on the Farming and BS YouTube page, and we are going to start. It should be up tomorrow. We are going to be doing, I believe, a video. We are going to be talking about the new channel. It's mainly going to be an introduction video. We're going to talk about a few things over there, and then we are going to start posting a bunch of content over there regarding Lions, Michigan, Michigan State. We want to get you guys involved, of course. So a lot is on the table. Alrighty. I gotta be honest, I'm actually surprised that we got to the rolling tonight. I did not think we were gonna get this far, but I'm glad we did. As I said, it's more time with you guys. Here's the deal. Now I know, I know how some people feel. I know how I feel regarding the approach to preseason. And some people like it, some people don't. But here is my problem with one thing in particular that I just feel is getting overlooked. My biggest thing is that but one thing that is getting overlooked in my personal opinion is that, let's just say Dan Campbell plays his starters, and God forbid one of them gets hurt. For the people who don't like it, the only thing that I can really say to you is one thing. And that is very, very simply, if you want the starters to play, I can understand it. But the thing is, what if, God forbid, that one of your starters gets hurt? You're going into week 1 already a man down in Jamison Williams. And if a starter gets hurt in the preseason, I think that's really when the conversation would change. At least for me. Because look, I like Dan Campbell's approach. And to be honest with you, after talking with some people, it sure sounds like this this joint practice thing is going to continue. And the thing is, like I said, we saw Mahomes play. God forbid, if Mahomes takes a hit, then it's Andy Reid in the jackpot. And it would be the same way with any other coach. In the NFL. Alrighty, we get to Michigan, and boy oh boy, this is where things certainly get interesting, if you know what I mean. So this comes by way of Josh Henske. This is from MichiganRivals.com. Just in, we are told that Jim Harbaugh has informed those inside Schembechler Hall that Michigan is self-imposing a 3-game suspension for Harbaugh, effective immediately. Well, then things got real interesting. Because then Lord Manuel put out a statement, and Jim Harbaugh waited a few hours to put his statement out. The University of Michigan Athletic Department today, August 21st, announced that it is self-imposing sanctions in an ongoing NCAA matter related to its football program. Let me get turned around here. Alrighty. Included in the self-imposed sanctions is a 3-game suspension for head coach Jim Harbaugh, to be served during the opening 3 regular season games of the 2023 season. The sanctions are in addition to previously imposed recruiting restrictions. Quote, while the ongoing NCAA matter continues through the NCAA process, today's announcement is our way of addressing mistakes that our department agreed to in attempt to further that process, close quote, said Ward Manuel. The Donald R. Shepard, Director of Athletics. We will continue to support Coach Harbaugh, his staff, and our outstanding student athletes per the NCAA guidelines. We cannot comment further until the matter is resolved. An announcement on the interim coaching appointments will be made at a future date. Then, according to Adam Rittenberg, Jim Harbaugh statement on Michigan's self-imposed 3-game suspension to begin the season. Quote, I will continue to do what I always do. And what I always tell our players and my kids at home, don't get bitter, get better. There's a lot to unpack here. You can coach during the week, but not on game day. There has been no contrition, and you dared the NCAA on their terms after the 4-game suspension fell through. Why would you self-impose? Honestly, fill in the blank for me. Why would you self-impose? Especially knowing what's coming in 2024 with the fact of USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington joining the Big Ten. On top of that, you're supposed to play, I believe it's Texas, early in the season. In 2024. Like, what are we doing? Honestly. Like, what are we freaking doing? It makes no sense. And it makes no sense whatsoever. The NCAA doesn't make sense. Harbaugh doesn't make sense. And it's just like, what in the F are we even doing? I mean, wow. I just, and then on top of that, you have a fanboy as your school president, which I don't even know if he's made a comment yet. I don't really care either way. But it's like, doesn't this just feel like AD versus coach at this point? Ward versus Jim? It is amazing. But like, it is truly amazing how this is all going down. And I almost wonder if this is just like the NCAA's Alamo. I really do. It is just, it's wild. So let's get to my favorite question of the week. Because, man oh man, I really wonder if this is a lot like JMO in a sense. So you drafted Jack Campbell out of Iowa at number 18 in the NFL draft. And you had a lot of people questioning why did Jack Campbell play into the third quarter with certain rookies and starters sitting? Maybe I'm crazy for thinking this, but it was my exact thought when you drafted him. You drafted Jack Campbell to be your super computer, to be your Bobby Wagner, to be your in the middle linebacker, supercomputer, green dot helmet, and he is going to run that defense. I wonder if they kept him in the game not just because of the linebacker room battle, which to me is the other spot that's wide open, but on top of that, it's also the fact of that I wonder if they want to douse him in reps. I wonder if they want to douse him in reps so he's ready for week 1.